Shalom Uvracha from Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh. Before we begin our weekly study, once again a reminder to anyone who is in a position to help. There's some kind of financial issue going on in terms of continuing these videos, these Torah videos and holiday videos. If you're in a position to help, please contact our very, very dedicated producers at www.machlispresents, MACHLISPRESENTS.org, www.machlispresents.org, to assist. Otherwise, I think in about 3 weeks we're going to have to change the format because they will not be in a position to continue, and there are surely many people benefiting from the current system. Thank you so much for your assistance. Shalom. This evening we are privileged to study together the Haftarah of Parashat Parah. This coming Shabbat we read one of the 4 special readings of the Torah, 4 special readings before Pesach. A section of a purification process described in chapter 19 of the book of Numbers, Parashat Chukat, and then after reading that section from the Torah, we study the purification process described in our Haftarah in the 36th chapter of the book of Ezekiel. Our Haftarah depicts how the Jewish people had been living in the Holy Land of Israel, but unfortunately defiled the land through their impure actions of idolatry and murder. It describes in our Haftarah the process of the exile and speaks of how God will ultimately gather the Jewish people back to this land, to the land of Israel, and purify them, bringing them to the new levels of spiritual consciousness. Our Haftarah begins with the following words. If you want to follow, I'm reading from chapter 36 of Ezekiel, verse 17. Beit Yisrael yoshevim al admatam vayitamme'u otah. The house of Israel was dwelling in their land, but they contaminated it. And although the simple reading of the text of study is surely a description of the past, they were living in the land, describing those impure activities, those improper activities which led to the bitter exile. Our rabbis in the Midrash somehow see these words as, so to speak, the longing of God for the Jewish people to be in Israel, even if they are defiling the land. Beit Yisrael yoshevim al admatam vayitamme'u otah. You see, the question is God really interested in the Jewish people returning to the land of Israel if they are not yet ready to follow the teachings of Hashem? This question has been argued, this question has been debated by the greatest minds, by the greatest rabbis, upon numerous occasions. However, this particular verse in our Haftarah of Parashat Parah is cited in the Midrash as somewhat of a proof text for the position advocating the return of Am Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael, even if they are not necessarily committed to living by Torah Yisrael. I am reading from the compilation of Midrashim called Yalkut Shim'oni, and the section that I'm reading is the Yalkut Shim'oni on the book of Eicha, on the book of Lamentations. If you want to follow the text, it's Remez, Tuf, Reish, Lamed Het. Tuf, Reish, Lamed Het in the Yalkut Shimoni. The Midrash describes how God is recalling, God is looking back, so to speak, and feels ever so troubled, ever so sad that the Jewish people are no longer living in Israel. Tanei Rabbi Chia taught, this can be compared, Mashal lemelech shahalach lechamat gader. This can be compared to a king who traveled to Chamat Gader, an ancient site in the Yarmuk Valley, southeast of the Kinneret. It contained world-famous hot springs and attracted settlers from the earliest of times. Many people, including some of the greatest rabbis, are recorded to have been traveling to Chamat Gader to enjoy the beautiful springs. The king is traveling in this parable to Chamat Gader, to this beautiful resort. Mashal, says the Midrash, Lemelech Shalach Lechamat Gader, to the most beautiful place. And he took his children with him, because it's a beautiful place. V'natal banav imo, and the king took his children together with him to Chamat Gader. Pam achat hiknituhu. However, upon one occasion, they acted improperly, and they angered the king. V'nishba she'ein notalan imo, and the king swore, I am never taking them again to Chamat Gader. I am never taking them along with me to this wonderful palace of pleasure, to this wonderful resort of happiness. They are never coming here again to Chamat Gader. Look how they acted. They acted so improperly. I don't want my children in Chamat Gader. However, when the king was there for an extended period, V'haya nizkar lahem, but the king was thinking about his children, ubocheh, and crying over his children who were no longer there. V'omer, halavai, Yahavon banai imi, afal pi shemaknitin oti. But as time went on, when the king lovingly recalled his children, when he longed for his children, he began crying and then said, I cherish my children, and I wish my children were here with me in Chamat Gader, even if they cause me frustration and anger through their actions. Afal pi shemaknitin oti, even though they are acting in an improper way. The Midrash quotes our pasuk from our Haftarah, Beit Yisrael yoshivim al admatam vayitameu ota. The house of Israel was dwelling on their land, and they defiled the land through improper behavior. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, God proclaims, Halavai, I wish, Banai imi be'eretz Yisrael, I wish my children were here in Israel together with me. Af al pi shemetamein ota, even if their presence in Israel will defile the land. Yechezkel, according to one of the commentaries, where do they see this in the words? I mean, the simple interpretation of the text is it's a description. They were in the land, and they were forced to leave the land. Yechezkel is speaking already during the period of the exile. Yechezkel is speaking after the Galut, after the Jewish people were exiled. Why then, says one of the commentaries, why does it say Yoshevim al admata? It should say Beit Yisrael Yashevu al admatam. They lived on their land. He's not talking about a current situation. Ezekiel is speaking in the Babylonian exile. What do you mean, Beit Yisrael, Yoshevim al Admata? So according to the one Midrashic school of thought, Hashem is proclaiming, I wish they would live here now. Yoshevim, I wish they would be here now, even if they would be involved in Vayitameuota. And although this is a Midrashic reading of our text, please do note that even in the simple, straightforward reading of the text of our Haftarah, the purification of the people of Israel, the purification of Am Yisrael is mentioned only after they return to Israel. It would seem that if you study, and those people who are following with the text in front of them, you could study sentence 24 of our chapter in the Haftarah, where God is speaking about the time where God will gather all the Jews back to Israel. I hope, thank God, your presence here is a fulfillment of that. And hopefully, all the people watching, you come and join us also. We'll all together fulfill Isaiah 36:24. What beautiful words! V'lakachti etchem min hagoyim, v'kibatzti etchem mikol ha'aratzot, v'heveiti etchem el admatchem. Such beautiful words in Haftarah. I shall take you from the nations. I will gather you from all the countries. I will bring you to your land. So first God speaks about bringing them to the land, gathering them back to Eretz Yisrael. And sentence 24 is followed by sentence 25, which then speaks of a purification process. There's no purification process mentioned as a prerequisite to coming to Israel. After they come to Israel, I will then sprinkle upon you the holy waters, and you will become purified. It is only after the return to the Holy Land where the spiritual purification is mentioned, and that's not Midrash. That's a simple pshat, thereby suggesting that perhaps the notion of purification is not necessarily a prerequisite for the Jewish people's return. Each of us could probably point to countless numbers of brothers and sisters, countless numbers of Jews from all over the world, who, although not yet committed to a Torah lifestyle, were saved from so many levels of assimilation merely through their presence in Israel, by their great self-sacrifice to coming to this land, even though they weren't yet connected openly to Torah. Even those who openly professed to denying the existence and the involvement and the dictates and the commandments, even those who felt that they had nothing to do, they spoke about they don't have any connection to God, they have no connection to the Torah of God. So many of these same people have found and involved themselves in great levels of spirituality by being here in Eretz Yisrael. It seems the land of Israel is that special land where after God gathers the people from all the nations and from all the countries, V'zarakti aleichem mayim tahorim utahartem. God gathers the people and then allows them to experience this new level of dedication to Hashem. Read sentences 27 and 28 of our Haftarah. Ve'et ruchi, after they come to Israel, ve'et ruchi etein b'kirbechem va'asiti et asher b'chukotai teilechu u'mishpatai tishmeru va'asitem. I will put my spirit within you, helping you to go by my decrees and to guard my commandments, my laws, and to perform them. V'shaftem ba'aretz asher natati la'avotechem. You will then be able to live in the land that I swore that I will give to your ancestors. V'item li la'am v'ani ehyeh lachem le'elohim. You will be my people, and I will be your God. May we all together experience tonight, I hope, the total ingathering from all the lands, from all the peoples, from all of the countries, and thereby together enjoy the total purification process mentioned in chapter 36 of Ezekiel. I hope that will happen immediately. Thank you so much for listening.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.